Let me get this off the screen. Oh, we got that. All right, there we go. I think we're recording. It's September 6th, 2022, and here's what we're looking at for the day. Starting early, I might have to start doing this, or I'll just be doing it off and on, whether it's at 12 o'clock or 3 o'clock. But I got to start early because just how it works with my schedule, and I want to be doing other stuff. So really, we just had a range day today. You can see it was ranging in the overnight. Made a couple of legs down, corrected, found some resistance up here, and then sold off again, made a couple legs down again. And, you know, a lot can happen between 12:09 and 1 p.m. But here's what we're looking at for now. So there might be some stuff in here that I didn't see or overlooked. So let's take a look. Let's see if this will help. No, that doesn't help. So yeah, you can see we're ranging in the overnight. What time did 5 o'clock came? Okay, so 5 o'clock came when we are correcting in here. And I don't believe the trend line starts up here. I believe it starts, maybe it starts, you know, right here. But I drew it from here and it looked like it worked. So you can see that when we drag it to the lows, it looks like there's a midline there. There's a couple of ways you could have drawn this, though. You can see we get a break, a couple legs down, and it reverses. So I do believe this is the way it should be drawn. And where 5 o'clock correcting. Okay, so I don't think you would have been able to take this trade on that double test. It's too congestive. Then you make a lower high here, but that's just a first entry, so I don't think you want to take that. We come up here and we bounce, and we're making lower highs, lower lows. You get this, and that is a failed second entry long. So I say if you have this trend line, take it. There's some congestion right here, but if you know what's going on, I think you can take that. You got a lower high right here, but you're going straight into that support, so I'm not too crazy about that. This kind of looks like a failure right here, but technically it's not. This isn't a new high, so actually this is a new high, so it's really just feels a little late, and you're going into we wouldn't have known that was the midline. You're going into new lows, so and you might find support in this area, so can't take that, I don't think. Come over here, you got a second entry short, but it doesn't set up, and that's where we get our first break, and you can see it slides down to the lows of this channel, makes a leg down, goes sideways a bit. Here we get a double test, but that's very congestive, and so I don't think you want to take that. I think you want to sit tight. That's probably just the midline of a larger range. Yeah, which it is. So I don't think you want to take that. I guess, yeah, this technically is second entry and it's off the trend channel, but you're late. You made two legs to a new low. It's not going to the bottom of the channel, so you gotta sit back on that. Nothing in there. This is a range. Looks like a counter trend break here, but the bias is down, so not crazy about that. We come all the way up here, and you get really a double top right here. First entry, second entry. So if that signal bar was good, I would like that, and I would say take it. But it's not great. It's not a great entry. However, it is a double test as well as a second entry long. So if that had a good signal bar, I would mark that blue. Excuse me. But signal bar looked more like a doji. And that stem on the high side is very high. And you can see that's because of the midline. Found resistance. Come up here. This kind of looks like a failure, but it's not. Technically, it's a third entry. Come up here, you got a first entry, second entry, again with that stem, just like we had over here. But this one's in no man's land, so you can't take that. We fail to come to the top of the channel, and we turn down, and you get a convincing break right here, and we just start correcting it. I really like this. If you see this trend line, I think you got to take this failure, because you can see it fails at the EMA here, and it fails at the EMA here. Now it is a little dangerous as you're going into this level of support. But with that bearish bar, I really like that. Maybe you just go for 4 ticks there because of that resistance right there. These lows, you got to that low, you got 28.25. So yeah, you got 5 ticks. So that's what makes that entry red, is you have 5 ticks there. So then you get this second entry short, and it made a new high, so this is not the greatest, and that signal bar is no good, really. Then we test the midline right here a couple times, so I don't think you want to take that, but you can see a lot of people did like that. And then this trade, this is probably the trade that I would feel most comfortable taking. You get this second entry short off of this price level, and then you get a lower high with plenty of room back to the EMA to scalp out, at least. So I like that. And you can see we fail to go higher a few times here, and we get a second entry short that is also like a double, triple test, and you can see a lot of people like that one too. So we finally, this is riding the trend line right here, but we finally get a pretty convincing breakout side. First entry, second entry. Not crazy about this just because it looks like we're still in a move up. There was enough. It got you the scalp, but this just kind of looks like we're still in a move up. It's just a little, doesn't look like 2 legs back quite yet. And you can see that it turns out to be a channel. We form some congestion up here, breakout counter trend first, and then breakout with trend, but the overall bias is down. We test this midline area, and then it just shoots down like a rocket. And this failure right here, first entry, second entry, very good failure off of the trend line down. It just didn't touch the EMA. If it touched the EMA, I would like it a whole lot better. Come down here, too far from the EMA. Second entry short doesn't set up, but again, that looks like this, where it's just one leg up. And you can see we got our second leg of correction here. And then you get a failure, but this just looks too sideways. And you can see we're not hitting that low end of the congestion. So we finally do hit that low end of the congestion, and it fires up. You probably wouldn't have had this trend channel, so I don't think you want to take a second entry off of that, especially when the signal bar is not great. But some people liked it. We come up here, we hit this measured move, and we just start going sideways. And turns out we have a channel, but there's not really any entries off of that channel. You can see we get a first entry, failed second entry long, but not the greatest setup. It makes a new high. We already had a break, and this is pretty sideways, so not the greatest setup. And we did just have, now this is where the failure occurs, so nothing here. And that's what I saw. So I mean, unfortunately, with my schedule, I don't think waiting till 1 p.m. Is very easily done right now. So we'll see. Sometimes I'll make these at 3, and sometimes I'll make them before 1 p.m. So hope everyone had a great day. I'll be back tomorrow.